And welcome back everyone to part 2 of the Rotate MD-11. Today we are going to go with the MCDU here menu and set this up. Now, as I like to say, this is a crossbreed basically between a Boeing and a Airbus. Yeah, with that being said, we'll jump right into it here. First of all, we're going to go up here to the FMC 1 and click on it and bring this to life. Go over here to flight plan, click on that, and there is where we start our fun. Now, I'm going to presume, which I probably shouldn't do, but I'm going to presume that you already know how to integrate this system into the plane itself here and communicate between SimBrief and here. If you don't, basically you can go and read how to do that with like the I believe it's either the MD-80 or I believe it is the MD-80. Anyway, it's a special way you link it up here. But once you have it linked up, it should do just like this, and this is how it should go. Today's flight is going to be from Anchorage, PANC, and you'll notice I'm not going to put no / here or anything, and we're going to go to SeaTac, bad person, SEA. There we go. Now we're going to go up here to the top left where it says company route. If it's all in there correctly, accepted correctly, then it should just do that. Right there, you see it here and across the top here. Now you do not have to put in the alternate route, but you do have to put in an alternate airport. In this case it's KPDX. And put that here, and there you see the route disappears and that shows up there, which is good. And this flight number is FedEx FDX 2475, and it goes here. Now we have that in. Now the flight level for this flight is 350, and we put that here. And then we need the cost index, which we have to go look at our SimBrief for that. And on this flight it is 163. And the reason why I kind of hesitated there is because I got my flight number wrong. Let's put that in correctly. FedEx 2175, I believe it was. Yes, 2175. And we will change that. There we go. Now everything is there. Then we can go up here to initialize IRS and click on that. We do not need to go for the pause ref. None of that. Just leave that be there. Now if you have step climbs in here, like say for instance 10,000 feet and then to 20,000, then up to 35,000. The way you do that is you put 350 100, I'm sorry, /200 /350, and it'll put it all in here in your stair step there for you. Okay, and now we can continue on. We go down here to the page button with the sideways arrow. Click on that, and it's going to show up here at the top. 71.8 is our block fuel. Hit the page button again, and we need to put that 71.8 in here in refuel quantity. Now, why? I don't know. I don't know what it does or anything else. I just know you have to do that. So, back here brings us back to this page, and now we are good to go on that particular part of the page. Now we need to set up the flight plan. So go to flight plan and go up here to PANC, click on it, click on SID, and now we are going to be departing on runway tree. So there it is, there's tree, and we're going to be leaving out on the anchor 9. So we'll put that there, and then we insert it here, like so. Now you see you'll have your manual and your, in case you're given directions, if you don't want that there, you can go ahead and hit clear on manual, and then clear on discon, and it removes it out of there. Now do the down arrow here, and we're going to go in reverse, which is just much easier than scrolling all the way down through it at this point. Then we'll go to Seattle and start, and we're going to be coming in on runway ILS 16 right, and we're coming in on the Mariner 7. There it is, Mariner 7, and YYJ is what we're looking for, and there's YYJ and Griffey. Alright, and then hit insert, and now our flight plan is in there. You'll notice you don't see anything else in here right yet because it's generating all that. Now go here, and we have to finish up the flight plan. Now we go to takeoff and approach. So takeoff is going here. Now this is where it gets a little bit tricky, and you need some specific information to put in here. Okay, now our slope of our runway, we need to know what that is, and on this runway our slope is going to be, it's not minus, so it would be up if it's not minus. If it's minus on the slope, then that's down, and we put UP for up, 0.27 is the slope of the runway. And now we go forward slash, because now we need something else called headwinds, and you put HD there, and in this particular instant our headwind is going to be at 4 knots, so that would be 0.4, and put that there. Now slope and wind is all set. Now OAT is our temperature, if you don't know that, and that's in Celsius, by the way. So it looks like our temperature is plus 8 degrees Celsius. So we'll put 8, and I'm sorry, I was supposed to use 0808. There we go. Now we have it, and now we have to do our flap settings, which will give us our stabilizer as well. Now, kind of a thumb of rule with this airplane, leastwise for me, is you can adopt it to, it just makes it simpler. But if your load is light, go 15 on the flaps. If your load is heavy, go 22 on the flaps. So in this case we are heavy, 22. Put that in here, and now it shows us our stabilizer on our trim is going to be 5.6 is what we have to do. And now we have to activate these V speeds here, which you go here, here, and here, and then you notice that little check word goes right out the window. It's all set now, and you got to remember that 5.6 because that's going to come in necessity here pretty soon. Now let's go back to our flight plan, click on it again to bring it all the way to the top, and then scroll out because we need to do this side as well, and hit flight plan and hit it again too. Now it will start generating the flight plan situation. Okay, by now we need to go here and put this on engines now so we can see all that. Okay, now with all that being done, we are all set up. Let's go up here and get our APU going. I don't ever turn on my APU until I'm real close to getting ready to go, and the reason being for that is I like to conserve fuel. So with that being said, go up here to APU power, click on that. Now you see it starts flashing available, which means it is not available yet. When it stops flashing, then it's available. Don't get in a big hurry, be patient. It takes a few minutes for it to quit flashing. Once it quits flashing, then we will turn it on and we will kill ground power and close up all of our doors and get ready for our pushback and start our engines. And ought to be just about there pretty near soon. Like I said, it takes a while. I wish we could have simulated this a little bit quicker in here, but that's the way it is. We'll just watch the little green light flash. In anticipation of having APU power in the very near future. Wow, look, there, it's on. Okay, now go down here to where it says APU, right here, APU. Now click on that. And now that's going to start up the APU, and you're going to see it go through all this little sequences here. There we go. Now it is, APU is on. Now let's bring up our little drop down again. Click on it here. Here it is right here. And our fuel and everything is on board now. The cargo door is closed, so now we can close up all the rest of our doors here. Turn off the lights and remove the stairs, remove the chocks, and remove the ground power because we are now on APU. Okay, with that all being done now what we need to do is go ahead and get push started out. Better push back, please.
Ground to cockpit. Please show me where you want to go. Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
And we need to kill off our little caution light there because it recognized the fact that we killed the ground power. And there's our tug. They did a really beautiful job on this airplane. I mean, just take a look at this. This plane is beautiful. You can even see the shiny on the paint there. I just love this plane. I love flying this plane. It is just great. And once you get used to it, you can like have this thing set up in no time at all.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed.
And be going.
Ready to connect.
Okay, now he's ready to connect. And we can go back inside. Get ready to release the parking brakes. And there now you can see we have generated everything there. And we can make one final check down through. See if we got any discons or anything that we need to remove. Don't find any. Okay. Flight plan is good.
Tow connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
Alright. Let's go ahead and release the parking brake, which is down here on the side of the panel, and it has an arrow that you use to either set either direction. This time we're going that way with it.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
Okay, and some people do. With this airplane, I don't. With this airplane, I start my engines after the tug has pushed me back and set my brakes again. Then I go through the startup procedure. You can do it any way you want. I've found that this aircraft, it moves on its own once the engines are activated, and so sometimes I found that it causes a bit of friction with the tug for some reason, but on the pushback. But anyway, you do it your way, and however you wish to do it. And here we'll go ahead and set this up. Our course, our speed, we need to see what that was. Which is 160. Forgot to put that in there. Let's go ahead and get it set while we're pushing back. It takes just a few for that. Oops, my bad. Wrong place. 160. And these are kind of touchy, so there we go, 160, and our heading is going to be 329. So we need to go ahead and set this up as well. There we go, and initial altitude is 4,000.
Operation
now,
complete. Go ahead and set the parking brake.
Let's go ahead and set the parking brake and let them do their release, and there we go, light comes on, parking brake is set. Okay, and now let's go back up here and finish this. If you notice, you can click it this way one at a time, but if you let the wheel spin for a minute, then release it, then hit it again, it drops or raises in numbers. There we go. All that is set now, and we can go up here and disconnect the tow, and then we need to go over here and check our altimeter setting is 2962, so we need to do that.
Tow is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the right. We'll see you next time, and have a safe flight.
Now, if anybody has figured this out on how to get this to scroll quicker or better, please let me know, because it takes forever sometimes to get it to move. Okay, alright, everything is disconnected, and now we are ready to start the engines. So first thing we need to do is go back up top here where it says engine igniter. Now, I don't know if you have to turn them both on or not, but I do, and it always seems to work out fine. So where it says A and B for engine igniters, click on A and click on B, and now it will set everything up here to get ready to start the engines. Now we can go back down here, and you're going to have to kind of get down underneath those handles there And at the same time, you need to be able to see right up here on this screen. And the way you do this is you start engine number 3 first, and you have these orange lights right here, and you have to click on that first, and you go up on it, click it, and it comes on. Then watch up here and it starts spooling up. Now, unlike a Boeing to where you get to 25N2, that's not how this is. You get to 15% and then you fire up the engine, which is this switch here, and you go up arrow on it, and there we go. Now you'll see that it'll start spooling up here rather rapid like. And when it is done, the light will go off and you move on to the next engine. And we will just go through each engine here and show you how to do that, and then you should be good to go. And I will show you how, without applying any thrust, that this aircraft will start moving on its own. Okay, lights out. Now remember, we started number 3 first. Now we go to number 1. Light on. Watch up here until we get to 15%. And then we fire up the engine with the fuel here. Almost there. And there we are. And we're firing up number 1 engine now. Now number 3 engine is running and number 1 is spooling up. And once the light goes up, off, we will fire up number 2 engine. There we go. Now we start number 2 engine. Go through the same process again. As always, if you like my videos and appreciate what I do, smash that old like button, ring that old bell, and please subscribe. And there we go. All 3 engines are going. I need subscriptions. Please help me out. Alright, and once this light goes off, then we will head back to the overhead panel. Okay, let's go back up top. There we are. Now what we need to do is we need to come up here and we need to turn off the APU so it doesn't burst into flames on us, and it will. You will see a bad screen of smoke out there. And there we go. Just turn it off down here at this one. You don't have to do anything up here whatsoever. And to make sure that it is off, you can go up here and look, and it will show off right there. So very good on that. Everything is looking fine. And now we need to go back down here. Now another thing on this airplane before you start rolling is you need to go to the nav button and click on nav. Yeah, that's another one of those life's mysteries, okay? Why we do that, but you do that, okay? Alright, now that is set. MCDU is all up and going. The only thing left to do is start rolling out. Get your taxi clearance and go for it. Take a final check up here. Make sure everything is looking good. Yep, and now we can turn on our right and left runway lights and put this on taxi. And go down here, and we need go here and set our flaps and all. And now, does anybody remember what we were supposed to put it on? Oh man, I can't remember. What do I do now? Go here and it will tell you stabilizer trim 5.6. And be sure and put this back on the flight plan. Double click it so that it shows from your runway. Okay, 5.6. Okay, now we are going to go here and we need to go down here to config. Click on that, and now it's going to show us a new screen up here, which is the configuration of the flaps, slats, and stabilizer. So with that being said, now we need to move everything in place. First click is the slats, and it's going to show up here when the slats are set. There it is, slats extended. Okay, now move it just one more click into this auto dial area. Remember, we dialed our auto flaps here to 22, and now that is set. And you'll see it spool up on here to where it will say 21 or 22. Should say 22, but apparently I didn't get it quite on the number. Anyway, for video's sake today, we'll just leave that be. And now we need to do that 5.6 on the stabilizer trim. And how do we do that? Well, here's your wheel over here, but it's not really a wheel, is it? It's kind of weird handle looking thing. So you will have a down arrow and an up arrow. And in this case, we need to go up. So up is actually backwards on this. And we need to go to 5.6. So just keep clicking on that thing like that and watch the numbers up here rise. And when we see 5.6, then that's when we stop clicking. There it is, 5.6 is set. Okay, now we can go back here and we need this back on engines now. Alright, there you go. You are, cut that back off. It gets kind of picky when we do things here, but turn it back off and let's see, that's on. Rejected takeoff needs to be on, and everything else is set now. So now we can go back here, and now I am going to show you. I am just going to release the brakes and go outside the airplane, and I'm going to show you I am not touching the throttles at all. But as you can see out the window, this plane is moving. And it will gain momentum, so make sure you're ready on the brakes here. Now in this video here, I will go ahead and finish out the taxi. And another thing that you always have to remember is your nose wheel is way back behind your cockpit. Take a look at that. Cockpit there, nose wheel way up there. Way back there, see it? And so you're constantly turning once you feel like you're way past where you should be turning at. So keep that in mind when turning this aircraft. And we are going to taxi out to runway tree. And you have your decrease and increase, which is kind of weird because decrease shows you the closer you are to everything on the radar screen on screen there, and increases it outward. So now you may see some other aircraft taxiing around because on my plane I have live traffic on, so we're going to have to kind of keep an eye out and make sure we're not going to get run over by anybody. But yes, this video is going to be a little bit lengthy, but promise me, you need to see all of this to figure out how to fly this aircraft, okay? Just starting up the engines is great, but there's other things that you have to do with this aircraft to get it to auto throttle and so forth. And it's easier just to show you than it is to try to explain it. So we will be at runway tree here in just a very short minute or two, and then we will be ready for our departure, and I'll show you the rest of what you do to get this plane in the air and flying, and also the warnings that go off that are weird but do not affect anything. Like I said, I really love flying this plane. It is just really nice to fly. Handles great. Landing rates are really good with it. I do believe the rotate crew did a great job on this plane. And like I said, I have not touched those throttles at all, and you can see the speed we are cruising at the moment. It's just unreal how these engines just start pushing yourself. And I've asked other people, hey, does it do this to you? And they're like, oh yeah, yeah. So I was thinking to myself, oh, maybe there's something with my joysticks or throttle quadrant or something here that, but no, that's not the case. And as you can see, we are taxiing at 21 right now without touching the throttles. And you can see the flaps are set and the slats are pulled down forward. And you can see back there behind me on the runway, somebody landed or taking off or something down there. Okay, now we're getting ready to pull up to the hold short of runway tree here. Go ahead and taxi into position. After this little guy probably is going to come and run us over, means he doesn't even know we exist. Yep, he's going to drive right through us, being as he's real world and we're fake world. Yay! He just drove right through our airplane. Okay, we'll go ahead and set up our lights for takeoff. Put that onto landing lights. There. Double click them to get them to turn on. And turn on the beacon now, and turn on your high intensities now. Okay, let's step outside a minute and take a look. And we can see everything's flashing and so forth now. And now we will taxi into position. And this is where I want to show you the rest of the plane here now for a smooth takeoff with this aircraft. Okay, now here's where we have to click on auto flight once and TROF over here for the altitude. Click on it and just leave everything else be. Remember, we already hit the nav on there, so that's good. Now what we're going to do is we're going to spool the engines up, and we have to get them up above 70 to 80% in order for them to kick in and take over on auto throttle. So here we go. Watch the engines and you'll see. There it goes. It took off on its own. Now you can pull your throttles back to idle and it will do its thing. Now we are going to start cruising down the runway here and get ready to take off. And you really have to pull back on this yoke in order to get this plane to lift off. And here we go. Rotate. Pull back and positive rate. Gear up. And now that we're climbing up, there we go. And now we have to hit auto flight one more time. And there, now the autopilot takes over the speed, takes over the heading according to our MCDU now. And then what we have to watch for is right here where our flaps are needing to be pulled up, which we're almost there. Okay, we can go ahead and pull the flaps up and leave the slats. There we go. And we can go ahead and shut that back down. And you gotta kind of get over this to see it. And turn that back off as well. Now we can go here and we're waiting to see this little orange dot come down here, and that's when we can pull our slats up. And now we can go ahead and change our altitude up to 350. And like I said, you can let it spin for a minute and then click on it and see where you're at. Let it spin a little more, see where you're at. And we're going for 350. then you can just click on it from there and bring it on up. There it is. Tree 50 is now set, and let's go back over here and see. There we are. We're now good for pulling our slats up. And you may be able to hear that stabilizer motion, and once you get close to 1,000 feet from your altitude, it will say altitude. And it's kind of weird because normally when we hear altitude, it means to us like, oh crud, well, what's going on? Altitude. No, that's not what it means in this plane. It means you're 1,000 feet from your selected altitude. What it will do is if you're about to hit the ground, it'll do the terrain thing. So anyhow, there we go. Make sure that I got that up, and then we can go back up here and clean our lights up. Turn those off, turn those off, turn the logo off, and then we can see. And when we hit 10,000 feet, then we can turn off the landing lights. And that, everyone, concludes the videos on the MD-11. Hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, if you would, please smash that like button, ring-a-ling the bell, subscribe, definitely subscribe, and that way you'll be up to par on any new videos that I send out. Thank you again. Have a great day. Blue skies.